All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back.
Wow.
The fire alarm is over. To the best of my knowledge, it was not an actual fire. But had it been, you could get yourself some Notorious RED. It's gear deodorant. Smell clean even if you were in a fire.
Absolutely. Well, everybody's having a good time in the parking lot out here, but we are definitely ready to get back to the action. We've seen some great stuff today. Your mom really taking it to Deep Valley. Deep Valley, first time in the tournament. Kind of a tough start for them, but they did play tough. And then in that second bout, wow.
I don't know about you. I was sitting on the edge of my seat as we came down to the final bit there. Yes, we've got a lot of signs in the audience now talking about how that was the worst official timeout ever.
Right, we've seen some long official timeouts. That has to be up there with some of the longest. But the second bout of the day, St. Louis Gatekeepers and Puget Sound. What'd you think of that one?
I was up here sitting next to Hammer and MCOM while they were doing that broadcast, and I was literally trying to keep myself from hanging over the edge of the balcony that we're on here. It was that tense to see what was going on the field out there.
It really was, and such a close battle, and coming down right to the wire. We've seen some great MRDA bouts, and we expect to see a lot more.
I would say I'm thinking we're going to see very much the same thing between these next two teams that are up. We've got the New York Shock Exchange versus the Bridgetown Menace from Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely going to be interesting. It looks like they're getting the skaters lined up for gear check, and they put a little more time on the board. We're up to 6 minutes from game now. We have an adjustment to the schedule. Looks like the next game is actually going to go, first whistle will be at 1:30.
Okay.
And we're going to basically back everything up an hour. So 3:30, 5:30, 7:30 for all the rest of the games as we go. We'll keep updating you as we go throughout the day, too, so that everybody who may not be joining us for this next game will also know. So if you want to share that out on Twitterverse and Facebook for everybody, we'd appreciate that. Make sure you tell them they can watch WFTDA.tv. We're here for the rest of the day and tomorrow.
Yeah, and the next bout coming up should be fantastic as well. We've got Magic City Misfits versus the Mass Maelstrom. That bout, a lot of people are talking about that bout as being one of the highlights of today, and really being kind of a toss-up. So I am excited to see that one coming up. Luckily, I'll get to get off the mic and enjoy it with in person. But boy, it's neat to be up here with you again. We were on the first call of the day, and here we are,
Yeah, we just kind of switched seats, so we're basically going to do the same thing we did last time, I think.
Just have a good time, watch some incredible roller derby. Some of the best roller derby in the world is happening right here.
This is absolutely true. There's a shot of the track. You can see the skaters still out there getting a little bit more warm-up time after a 30-minute let's go sit in the sun in the lobby. They definitely need it for sure.
Well, if you're enjoying all this action, of course, you can pick up DVDs from info at thecornstalkers.com. And if you want to get a single bout, that's $10, or $25 for whole team bouts. That's all of the bouts by a particular team. And then $50 for the entire champs. And I think that would make an excellent training piece for your team. So we're going to throw it over to commercial, and we'll come back with just a minute or so before the bout starts. But stay tuned for great MRDA action.
Thank you. This is Ivana and Spank. We're here to tell you about Sin City Skates. Sin City Skates began in our Las Vegas living room in 2005, the first shop ever dedicated to roller derby, and has since grown into this 2,000 square foot mecca in San Diego, where we stock everything for our sport. Need help? With a combined on-track experience of over 24 years and still playing, we test everything we sell, and we're happy to share that experience and knowledge with you. So contact us, sincityskates.com.
Hey, this is Dan from S1 Helmets. We're here at the Angel City Derby Girls practice facility, hanging out and watching them practice. A few years back, we noticed that a lot of girls playing roller derby were not wearing certified helmets. They were wearing non-certified soft foam helmets, and we were concerned. We've been trying to get the word out to everyone that plays roller derby to wear a helmet that is certified for multiple and single impacts. while we were here. Octane Jane was jamming and she got hit, snapped her head back, and hit her head pretty hard. Octane Jane was fine. That's why we want girls in certified helmets, dual certified helmets, because you can't control how you fall in roller derby. It's a contact sport. You're going to get hit and you're going to go down, and this happens all the time, all around the world. And if you're in the wrong helmet, you're really going to hurt yourself. And she was wearing a lifer helmet, which is dual certified, and she got up and she's fine. So we're stoked, and the helmet worked, and that's what this is all about.
They told us to just sell skates online. You won't have any overhead. Put some skulls in your advertising. You'll make a mint. That was never our plan. Our plan was to make a store where all day we are fitting skaters, fixing skates, teaching customers, and putting the best gear on their bodies. Before we put 3 W's in front of our name, we made sure we had hundreds of happy customers come through our doors. We're not just Derby owned. We're Derby dedicated. Fast Girl Skates.
Alrighty, I hope you guys stuck with us through those commercials. We are back and live and just about to get ready to go into the action.
The team's doing their chants down there on the track, getting pumped up and prepared for what should be an epic battle. Bridgetown really came to play. They've been playing tough lately. They are a strong team, and I expect great things from them. And of course, New York. You know, former world champions, always playing tough, always a top contender.
Absolutely, and they're going to be looking to do it again here this year at the 2013 MRDA Champs. You can stick with us all weekend on WFTDA.tv to catch all the action live. Hopefully no more fire drills, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, whatever happens, we're going to swing with it and keep you tuned into the action on WFTDA.tv.
That's it. We'll get the rosters out to you as soon as we have an opportunity, but it looks like we're going to get started here in just a couple seconds, and I don't know if we'll be able to run all the way through the roster. We're gonna have on the jam line for Shock Exchange up first, Jonathan R, number 6, Shock Exchange in the black and white.
Always great. And for Bridgetown Menace, we'll have Shreddy Mercury.
They're gonna be in the purple and silver, silver gray.
And I'm sure everyone's ready to go right at the countdown here after that long delay. Shreddy Mercury pushing the back of that wall, but looks like Jonathan R coming through the front.
Yeah, Jonathan quickly making it to the front of the pack, pushing his way through, and gonna be lead jammer for Shock Exchange. Already back around as Shreddy Mercury just makes his way through the pack. Jonathan going to get through, put his 4 on the board, and call off that jam.
The veteran jammer making quick work of that one. Quick start here, 30 seconds in, already putting some points on the board for New York.
It's going to be Carne Asadage, number 833F, up on the line for New York Shock Exchange. And he's going to be up against number 27,
Cougar Bait.
And we're off. Cougar Bait looking to take the inside line. Gonna jump back around to the outside. Carnage Asada.
Big crash up front there. But no pass, no penalty, so he stays on the track. The New York jammer.
That's it. Lead, though, gonna go to Cougar Bait. Cougar Bait out in the front. Gonna get into the pack. Looking to put some points on the board. Goes ahead and signals the call off. No points for either jammer during that pass.
Oh, man, he was right there. Thought he was going to get in by the 4th whistle, but those were some quick whistles.
Alrighty, and we're just going to line right back up. Ladies' night, number 241 up on the jam line for Shock Exchange. Number 85, Shreddy Mercury on the jam line for Bridgetown Menace. both jammers off the jam line, quickly bumping into those walls. Looks like Ladies Night taking a hit to the outfield, going to be recycled all the way back.
Stretched packs, both of them going both directions. Always interesting to see that.
These packs are like rubber bands out there on the track today. Looks like Ladies Night making his way to the front of the pack there.
Oh my goodness, and he'll be pushed out and recycled way back.
Freddie Mercury making his way through, not going to be lead jammer.
But he is in scoring position.
Definitely able to put some score up on the board for Bridgetown, and that's him through. He's going to put all 5 on the board.
And Ladies Night continues to be held up in that pack of purple.
It's Rob Lobster there doing that good job shoveling, and he's going to let him go, switch off to the next blocker. Ladies Night finally makes his way through. Also not going to be lead jammer, so this jam is going to go for the rest of the time of this jam.
Yeah, but Freddie Mercury taking off after picking up 4 more. Ladies Night continuing to have trouble in the pack of purple. Boom, crashes to the ground. Rob Lobster again.
That jam comes to an end. 3 points picked up by Shock Exchange during that last pass.
All right, and we have a message from hashtag WRDA Champs 2013 from Rollin' Reckless. She wants to see some fire on the track. She is watching from Gregorian, Netherlands. So thank you from the Netherlands, getting a shout out there to Rollin' Reckless.
I'm good with fire on the track as long as we don't have any more noise and have to go back outside. Although it has warmed up considerably.
It has.
Number 6, Jonathan R. back up on the jam line for Shock Exchange.
Jonathan R. always so slippery in there, but it's going to be
Elysium, number 17 for Bridgetown Menace, out of the pack first. Right on his tail, Jonathan R. He's going to go ahead and call off the jam in a wise strategic move. Wants to maintain that minuscule lead that they currently have. Doesn't want to give up any points to the other
He
team.
also did not want to have a race with Jonathan R. Let me tell you.
We're at 9-7 with Bridgetown Menace currently in the lead, 25-45 remaining on the clock. We're going to line him right back up. Carnage Asada back up on the jam line for the Shock Exchange. And
Buster Cheaton down there for Portland.
And Cougar Bait for Portland, yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Takes a hit to the outside. He's back up. Bridgetown losing a blocker and losing the jammer on a cutting the track penalty. That's going to make this a power jam for the Shock Exchange and pack advantage Shock Exchange.
Carne Asada looking for that front stumble across it. Ooh, did he get through without stepping out? Well,
it's going to be
not look like it.
Skating out of bounds penalty. He's going to the penalty box. So we're going to switch things up here. We'll get Cougar Bait back on the track there as soon as Carnage Asada makes his way to the penalty box and puts his butt in the seat.
Cannot intentionally skate out of bounds. You have to be pushed out. So not a cut track as the other team thought, but
Cougar Bait back into the pack and into the wall of Shock Exchange blockers, being held up there by Banana and Buster Cheaton.
Grinding on his knees to try and stay in bounds.
Shock Exchange losing a blocker to the box. Cougar Bait staying on the outside, inside the line. No, outside the line, getting a cut track. This is going to switch it up again. We're going to go back to a power jam for Carnage Asada as soon as he's released from the box. Looks like he was just finishing out his time there.
Oh yeah, doubling up slightly. Those rare situations, but we've seen them a couple times here.
We have already seen a couple of times where it's jammer, jammer, jammer in the box.
And these jammers in this jam are going back and forth, so.
They are. Carnage Asada coming back through the pack there, and now eligible to score. There's another pass.
Multiplayer block.
That's going to put all 5 up on the board. It looks like Portland losing another player to the box for a multiplayer. So they're going to be short in the next jam. Ladies Night up on the jam line for Shock Exchange, number 241. And I heard the whistle. Yep, it's going to take us to an official timeout.
I hope so. You can find a way to melt it down. There's nothing else. They're all getting Lysol for me.
We've got an official timeout going on. Lots of action happening in that notorious RED penalty box right at the moment.
Quite notorious and popular so far in this one.
That's it. So there's some dirty play happening, but you can definitely skate clean or smell clean even if you skate dirty, like these guys in the penalty box down there.
That is right. Way to create your own segue there.
Let everyone know on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram.
So the crowd in here, pretty good crowd. Man, they got fired up on that last bout. The crowd got into that Gatekeepers Puget Sound bout.
I have a feeling we're going to see the same thing happen here. We just see another lead change on the scoreboard there as New York takes over the lead again, 12-9. Still 22 minutes left in this first half of the game. Definitely promises to be an interesting game to watch.
If you want to relive the experience, you can buy DVDs, $10 for a single bout, $25 for a full team's bout, $50 for the entire tournament.
So it'll be a power jam for New York. Ladies' night. Always great at the jammer position.
Does that mean we get to listen to ourselves and read all the time?
And we're off. Ladies' night quickly off the line into the back of the pack there. Struggling with that last blocker, number 512, Cosmo Damage from Portland, but able to get out and take lead jammer back into the pack. Once again, Cosmo Damage there holding up Ladies' Night as he's looking to get through.
Great defense. They got the bridging going on, got him way slowed down.
That's it. Also, that's Bruce Payne there, last line of defense there, looking to push him back, hold him back, but 5 points on the board for Ladies' Night. Looks like number 27, Cougar Bay, rejoining us on the track now. This will be his initial pass, so that gives time for Ladies' Night to put even more points on the board for Shock Exchange. And he's trying to do it up there at the front of the pack, but he is just facing off against a solid two-wall there at the front of the pack.
Oh, they've been so effective with those 2 walls and 3 walls. And just holding it down, bridging as far as they can, really slowing New York down. New York is a team that likes to get some momentum and move really fast and score a lot of points. And for Bridgetown, that's one of the keys to this game, if they can slow them down like that.
Absolutely, and do what they did. 5 more points on the board for Ladies' Night. Cougar Bait out and eligible to score. Ladies' Night coming back into the pack, picks up 1 more point, holding Portland to 0, and that jam comes to an end.
So New York extending a little bit of a lead here, 23-9 over Bridgetown. Of course, New York in the white, Bridgetown in the purple.
That's it, and it's going to be Shreddy Mercury up on the jam line again for Bridgetown Menace. And it's going to be number 6, Jonathan R. up for Shock Exchange. There's the whistle, and we're off. Jonathan R. getting recycled to the back of the pack there, but quickly recovering and just busting right through the middle of the pack, taking lead jammer for Shock Exchange. Coming out just slightly behind him there, Shreddy Mercury, looking to catch up to him. Jonathan R. though fast on those feet, into the pack, calling off the jam after he hits into it.
And great at getting his hips around the opposing blocker to pick up that extra point, kind of swivels in and picks it up, even though he's not totally past him.
It's going to put us at 9:25. New York Shock Exchange increasing their lead.
Well, we've got another shout out from Chris Elgin. He's watching the MRDA champs from Wales, hoping to take tips to training tomorrow with South Wales Roller Derby. So South Wales Roller Derby, get ready for some tips from the MRDA championships.
Back to the action on the track. Carnage Asada quickly off the line, taking lead jammer for the Shock Exchange. Running him down, Elysium makes his way out of the pack, number 17 for Bridgetown Menace. Not going to be lead, but trying to catch up to Carnage Asada. And that pack is moving fast. Portland up at the front of the pack there, just driving that pack faster and faster, trying to keep Carnage Asada from catching up. Carnage into the backside of the pack there, looking to clear that 3 wall at the front. Calling off the jam does put 1 point on the board for the Shock Exchange. and calls off the jam.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions or comments, make sure to send those via message on Twitter to #TalkToMRDA.
And it's going to be number 241 Ladies Night versus number 85 Shreddy Mercury up on the jam line. We've seen them up together a couple times. And we're off. Shreddy looking to take the inside line. Ends up back at the back of the pack. Ladies Night up at the front there. Looking
crashed into, but no pass, no penalty.
Exactly. The blocker went out right behind him, so there was a no pass, no penalty. Shreddy out as well, not getting lead jammer. Ladies Night going to call off the jam. That's going to put us at 39 with 18:32 remaining on the big clock.
And we'll see Cougar Bait step out for Portland and Jonathan R. for New York.
Jonathan R. quickly off that jam line and right into that wall of purple. He is pushing that wall forward. Not going to let him hold it back too much, but they are doing their darndest to keep him from getting the lead. He does get lead, though. Cougar Bait, meanwhile, stuck at the back of the pack behind the wall of white. Finally manages to find his way on the inside line through. Not going to be lead, but eligible to score. As Jonathan back into the pack, into the four wall, taking a big hit there. And going to call off that jam after putting all 4 points on the board.
Boy, I tell you what, we're seeing some great defense out there by Bridgetown. Really like the blocking schemes. And some of that, you got to give some credit to Earl Slick. Now, Earl Slick, the transfer from Puget Sound, now playing for Portland Men's Roller Derby. And he is a force to reckon with. I tell you, I've been watching it for years. I'm a big fan.
It looks like we're going to line back up. Number 833 F Carnage Assad on the jam line, and 85 Shreddy Mercury up for Portland. Both jammers still stuck in the packs, looking for the way around their respective walls. A blogger. Shock Exchange losing number 164 to the penalty box for cutting the track, as Asada taking lead jammer for Shock Exchange. Shreddy Mercury switching to some defensive jamming there as Carnage Asada comes back into the pack. Carnage taken to the outside and going to be recycled way back.
And Shreddy Mercury trying to bridge him back much farther as the jammer.
That's it. Shreddy Mercury, being the jammer, can go as far back as he wants.
Yeah, no bridging necessary. He'll stumble there as we head back.
Shreddy Mercury ready to get back into playing some roller derby. He's going to come up. It looks like he's going to maybe stay defensive. No, he's going on the offensive. Carnage Asada back into the pack, finding his way quickly through there. Takes a big hit from number 357 Demolition Man.
Yeah, that was a crazy blow, but now a cut track on. Oh my goodness. So Shreddy Mercury out there on the power jam with 35 seconds left in this jam, so they'll start the next one on a power jam as well.
Shreddy Mercury going to look to put some points on the board for Bridgetown Menace now with a power jam in their favor. It's a full 4-on-4 in the pack, so he's going to get some help from his blockers who clear the way on the inside for him so he can pick up all 5 points.
Yeah, he's been having some trouble with that blocking wall out there on this jam of New York, so good to get some offensive help.
Pack kind of spread out there in the apex between turn number 1 and 2. Shreddy Mercury able to fight his way through. Going to put another 5 on the board as that jam comes to an end. Bridgetown making some more momentum on their board.
Yeah, exactly what they needed at this point with New York jumping out to a lead. Get in there and get some points, pick up a couple of power jams. So good stuff here from Sioux City. And again, a big shout out to Sioux City. Thank you so much to the Cornstalkers for hosting this tournament. Doing a great job thus far, and we expect that to happen all weekend.
Looks like we're going to get number 17, Elysium, back up on the jam line for Bridgetown Menace as they continue this power jam. Elysium looking to take the outside line, gets a little bit of stoppage there, but not going to let it hold him up long. Takes lead jammer for the Bridgetown Menace.
Good blocking up front by Portland.
Excellent job there by Elysium as he comes in, too, faking out those two blockers that Shock Exchange still has on the track there and putting those points up on the board for Bridgetown Menace. He's back into the pack again, fighting against that last little blocker there, and he is out. Puts another 5 on the board for Bridgetown Menace.
So definitely some momentum here. Shifting to Bridgetown's way, closing that gap.
Elysium still going to put some more points on the board as he passes that last line of defense. Sammy Dangerfield at the front of the pack there. Carnage Asada back on the track, just through the pack for his initial pass. So Elysium going to look to put a few more points on the board, maybe tie up the game here. He's going to call it off, puts all 4 on the board. I believe that once we get the update, it's going to be a tie game, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, that's what we love to see, these close, intense battles. The crowd cheering here for that action. Everybody likes to see a nice, tight, intense battle. And this is stacking up to be one.
All righty, and we're going to line up number 69, Don Juan, the Devastator. Up on the jam line for Bridgetown Menace. Is going to face off against number 6, Jonathan R. for New York Shock Exchange.
Wow, last year's my first time to see the Devastator, and he has some moves, man. Just incredible. Stays on his feet around the corner, picks up lead jammer.
Jonathan R. not liking that so much, clears the pack as well, and going to try to catch up. Look at those legs go. And with the light pack, Devastator coming in, trying to sneak around number 10 there. That's Wolverine, and see if some points can be picked up, but no points during that last pass for either jammer.
Oh, and we'll see a low block. Major happen over here on the outside. And the New York blockers will head to the box. Oh, blocking out of bounds.
And we're off again. Shreddy Mercury jamming number 85. Gets a high block call as the pack just gets started. So off to the box with Shreddy Mercury, number 241. Ladies night for the Shock Exchange, able to steal lead jammer and looking to put some more points on the board for New York. Pack getting really stretched out there. Ladies night able to make his way through and put 5 more points on the board for the Shock Exchange. Bridgetown Menace down to just 2 blockers left on the track. Ladies night coming into the pack, puts another 5. Easy walk through the pack. Portland getting a little bit more strength in the pack, now up to 3 blockers. Shock Exchange with just 2, so Portland going to see if maybe having that extra blocker there is going to help him hold up Ladies night.
And New York going to play that passive offense. See if their jammer can stretch it out against this tough Bridgetown defense. Definitely slowing him down, but he is through.
That's it, Ladies night. Put another 5 on the board. That jam's going to come to an end. And it looks like New York going to start with a power start. Shreddy Mercury, number 85, standing in the penalty box. But Carnage Asada, who's lined up for New York, going to look to grab that lead jammer quickly off the line.
Oh, yeah, we've seen a lot of penalties of recent. That box, notorious box, RED box has been full for a while. So, back and forth action here. Momentum swinging back and forth. Love it. This is the kind of roller derby I love.
Carnage Asada looking to get out of that pack early before Shreddy Mercury's release. Gets hit to the outside and recycled. He's going to go way back. Shreddy Mercury now on the track. It's either jammer's chance to grab that lead jammer. Let's see who can break the pack first. Power start didn't really help Shock Exchange, but Carnage Asada able to get back on, get through, and still grab that lead jammer. Shreddy Mercury out and now eligible to score. Carnage Asada looking to pick up a few more points, pushes his way through. He does put, it looks like 3 points on the board for Bridgetown Menace. Shock Exchange able to pick up 2 there, though, with that late call-off.
Wow, I've got another cool shout out here from the hashtag Talk2 MRDA, and it is Oscar. And they say hello to Argentina. Well, they want us to say that. It's BA Conspiracy, a men's team growing up down here. So in Argentina, men's team watching, learning the ropes of what's going on right here. So we're getting these in from all over the world. Just amazing bangers and smash. I'm excited to be here.
And me as well too, Rockets Run, and who knows, maybe here in a couple of years, maybe next year, we'll see Argentina up here in the championships.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Wonderful to see that on the women's side. You know, the WFTDA getting some, you know, people in from across the world. You know, of course, London having some success this year, and just good stuff all over. This sport is really growing up fast.
Yes, it is, and looks like we're going to get 27 Cougar Bait back on the jam line, facing off against number 6, Jonathan R. We've seen this matchup a couple times already during the bout. Let's see how it plays out this time.
Boy, they're just in there grinding and smashing and pushing.
Jonathan R. actually even getting a little resistance from his own blockers, yeah. As they don't want to let either jammer through that wall.
Not the first time someone's running into their own wall.
Cougar Bait, though, going to clear that pack first, makes his way around Wolverine, number 10, and takes lead jammer. He's got a little bit of space, so he's going to attempt to put some more points on the board for Bridgetown Menace.
Good jammer awareness. Good job there, picking up another 4 points. Playing a little catch-up, but the score close. Man, oh man.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we're going to see this the rest of the day, you know, these really close games between these teams.
And this is the kind of those kind that you seem so evenly matched out here. It could come down to penalties. It could come down to a big power jam, and that's exciting stuff.
Absolutely. It's going to be number 241, Ladies Night in the black and white for the New York Shock Exchange, up against number 17, Elysium, in the purple and silver for the Bridgetown Menace.
And only 2 blockers on the track for New York. And Cougar Bait will make quick work of that. Lead jammer.
Ladies Night recycled back to the back of the pack as Elysium back in for his first scoring pass. Looking to take the inside, a little bit of a fall. His feet actually go off, so he's going to recycle himself, make sure he doesn't pick up a cut. Ladies Night through, and it looks like Elysium going to go ahead and end that jam. He does pick up, looks all 4 points for that pass, just as Ladies Night breaks the front of the pack.
Well, interestingly, this is the first meeting of these 2 teams this year, and so, you know, we didn't know what we were going to expect here, and you know, you compare it based on who they've played and the strength of performance in other bouts, but both having a strong year, playing well against top competition. So this is good stuff.
Absolutely. Shreddy Mercury, number 85, back up on the jam line for the Bridgetown Menace, going to face off against number 833, F Carnage Asada, who takes a beat down but finally clears the front of that pack and grabs lead jammer for the Shock Exchange. Shreddy Mercury coming out of the front of the pack there, and now eligible to score. Carnage Asada looking back behind him, looking to see how much distance he's got and whether or not he wants to try for those points that are way up at the front of the pack. He does. Shreddy not hitting the pack. 2 points on the board for the Shock Exchange.
So we'll see. And then this next one, the Devastator stepping out against Jonathan R. Should be a good matchup.
And we're off. Jonathan R. with a jump off the jam line there, but Devastator just looking to really bowl through that wall. Which jammer's going to make it first? Looks like Jonathan R. finds his way through the outside, taking lead jammer for the Shock Exchange. Devastator taking a hit to the outside there from number 125. It looked like that was Malcolm Sex that took him to the outside there. Jonathan back into the pack and through. That's going to put all 5 on the board for the Shock Exchange. Portland losing a blocker to the penalty box. That's going to give him a disadvantage in the pack. Devastator still trying to beat his way through that wall there. Jonathan R. through again, another 5 on the board for the Shock Exchange. And again, another 5 for Jonathan R.
Completes his first pass. Had a tough time with that New York defense so far in this bout. Oh, tries to cut through on the inside and goes out of bounds. Now he's crawling back out.
While that hit happened on Devastator there, Jonathan R. getting a high block call going to the penalty box. That makes this a power jam for Devastator, who is sent to the penalty box as well.
Skating out of bounds.
For a skating out of bounds, so this makes it a power jam again for the Shock Exchange.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to try and jump that apex, but he just skated right through it.
And there's Jonathan putting another 5 on the board for the Shock Exchange. Devastator now back on the track. It was a short period of time because it only had to serve the same amount that the other jammer did.
Oh, and the Devastator having, again, a tough time with the New York defense, skating slow back to cycle in. It's taking some hits, again, getting shoved to the inside.
Jonathan R. looking to get in on some of that defensive action as they take Devastator back out almost into the penalty box that time.
Here, go have a seat, man.
That's it, yeah, the notorious RED penalty box going to get some action without actually having a penalty issue there.
You got to love this. These guys are playing with their hearts out here. They're really putting it all on the line. This is, this is what you work for so hard all year. You play those tough teams. You practice hard. You work hard. Eat right, hopefully. And then, minimize your consumption, moderation, the whole year. And here you are at the MRDA champs. Super exciting.
Looks like we are in an official timeout. New York able to come back here and put a little more space between the two teams. We're 52-81. New York with a lead that Bridgetown can easily take over. They've shown it a couple times that they're able to come back quick.
They keep doing that, taking a lead, moving out, advancing out, and then Bridgetown will be on a power jam and catch back up or inch their way back up. Just very interesting matchup between these two teams. So far, you got to think that New York maybe has a little bit of an edge in gameplay, but Bridgetown could certainly hang in there and take this one.
Absolutely. It looks like actually this is an official review. I see the little, like I said, parallelogram blinking. That white parallelogram indicates that team has called an official review. So if you're just looking at that scoreboard at home, you can see the little flashing one under New York. That means it's a review, official review for New York. As soon as we get some information from the sidelines, we'll let you know what that official review is about.
And these officials out here, they want to get this right. Again, this is very important. This is for all the marbles. So, this is one of the best teams that can possibly be assembled in terms of referees. It's a selection process. They pick the very best application process for the refs, the NSOs, the announcers, and everyone involved here, even the host city. So, this is the way it was selected, and these people know their jobs, and they're going to get it right.
And then speaking of the host city, we definitely want to say a big thank you to the Sioux City Cornstalkers for hosting the 2013 MRDA championship here in beautiful Sioux City, where it's definitely warmed up. We discovered that when the fire drill happened and we were all made to go outside. If you missed that early action, that was pretty fun for everybody. A nice little break.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, I'd be remiss if I did not mention the Sioux City Roller Dames here in the house, volunteering all over the place. They have been super to us, really running around just trying to take care of everything, make sure it's all right in order.
Absolutely. All right, it looks like we're going to get back into the game here. Number 241, Ladies Night up on the jam line for the Shock Exchange. Number 85, Shreddy Mercury up on the jam line for the Bridgetown Menace. There's the whistle.
You get the feeling we're going to see a lot of Shreddy Mercury in this bout. There he goes, dance along that inside line, lead jammer.
That's it. He is off in the pack. We're still having a struggle with Ladies Night finding his way clear of that front wall. When you see those Bridgetown Menace blockers out there, they are just really able to create a nice 2 or 3 wall and hold back the jammer.
And a great job there. They had a 3 wall holding him back, and then the 4th person came from back and waterfalled him out of bounds, forced him to cycle back. Great defense. You get the feeling Bridgetown can do more of that. They can bring this thing closer faster.
That's it. I got to mention that's Bruce Payne, Earl Slick, and Rob Lobster and Cosmo Damage out there that were doing all that fancy work holding back Ladies Night, who finally manages to clear the pack there. Shreddy Mercury going to put some more points on the board and call off that jam. Shreddy able to close up that gap to where we're just 19 points separating these two teams, if I can do quick math. I think that's right. Yeah, that looks right.
Definitely great defense by that aforementioned pack for the Bridgetown Menace. Each team with a blocker in the box right now, so a 3-on-3 pack.
And we're going to have Carnage Asada back up on the jam line for the Shock Exchange and Elysium for the Bridgetown Menace. We've seen this matchup before. Elysium looking to take the inside line, gets hung up, so goes to move to the outside, takes a huge hit from Malcolm Sex there. And it looks like we're going to get Carnage Asada clear of the pack first, taking lead jammer. And finding his way, Elysium makes his way through the inside line. Not going to be lead, but eligible to score. Let's see if Carnage Asada is aware enough that he's out of the pack. He calls it. Carnage Asada puts 3 points up on the board and holds Portland to 0.
Wow, close call, too. He was right there on it. So we're looking out here and we're seeing these two teams, and we're seeing a lot of great veterans on the track for both of these teams. These guys neither one of these teams are new. They're both experienced. They've been to champs before. They've played hard against tough teams and are ready, obviously, for this kind of battle.
That's it, and it's Jonathan R. versus Shreddy Mercury. Shreddy taking a hit to the outside, quickly recycled. Jonathan R. at the front of the pack looking to fight his way through. Finally finds it and is lead jammer. Shreddy still stuck in the pack. Shreddy Mercury clearing the pack, makes his way out as Jonathan R. back into the pack, looking to see where Shreddy is. He's going to go ahead and call off the jam after putting 4 points more on the board for the Shock Exchange. We're down to just 1 minute, 16 seconds remaining in this period. Shock Exchange making a little more advance there. We're 62-88 on the scoreboard. Knock them down, line them right back up. Number 241, Ladies Night on the jam line for the Shock Exchange. Number 27, Cougar Bait on the jam line for Portland. I forgot who I was there for a second.
Cougar Bait falling down in the back of the pack there on that New York defense. Up front,
Ladies Night with a beautiful twist there around the blocker, trying to hold him back, able to sneak out of the pack and takes lead jammer. Cougar Bait finds his way out of that pack as well.
Yeah, if you're not going to get that lead jammer call, you definitely want to keep the scoring low and get out.
That's it. Ladies Night back in the pack, looking to put on some points. Does he notice that Cougar Bait is coming? He does. Calls off the jam. Puts 2 points on the board for the Shock Exchange and holds Portland to 0.
So New York able to chip away a little bit, move the score a little bit farther ahead here, but just in small increments. Bridgetown certainly within striking distance.
That's it. Looks like that the penalty, the period clock is slowly ticking down. Nobody's going to take a timeout or review. We're going to go ahead and go into the halftime. That was the halftime whistle. So definitely some very interesting play that we're seeing out there, Ron. What do you think we can expect to see in the second half of this bout?
A continuation of what we've been seeing, but I think they're going to go back and they're going to game plan, maybe stay out of the penalty box a little bit more. We saw a few too many trips in there. That's kind of happened a lot in this tournament so far. First half, see a lot of penalties, and the second half they clean it up. They're able to come out and play a little tighter.
That's it. And if you've been watching the score throughout this play, you know, it's been kind of back and forth. Some early lead changes there. New York able to make a little leeway. Bridgetown closing up that gap. New York pulling forward again. Maybe Bridgetown going back to the locker room and discussing how they can happen to get that lead change and get a little forward themselves. Stick around. We'll be back in about 14 minutes. I'm Bangers and Smash.
I'm Maracas Ron. We'll see you in a little bit.
This is the Texas roll-up. That goes to you.
We're here in the helmet laboratories today testing some helmets. We're testing soft foam helmets versus hard foam helmets. We have the Lifer hard foam CPSC certified on the head foam now. We're going to drop it from the drop tower and we're going to measure the G-force of the impact. We're going to take this helmet up 2 meters for its drop. In order to pass this test, this helmet must reduce the energy pulse to under 300 Gs.
They do. And I can
Hit 186.75 Gs. That's a pass. We've got a soft foam helmet on the head foam now. We're going to bring it up to the same distance we did the hard foam helmet and see what happens.
You're actually being broadcast?
As you can see, the soft foam helmet that was dropped from the same distance as the hard foam helmet registered an 827 peak G. The hard foam helmet registered 186. 300 Gs passes the CPSC certified test. This helmet fails.
Hi, I'm Tristan Dash, and this is Ivana Spanker. We're here to tell you about Sin City Skates. Sin City Skates began in our Las Vegas living room in 2005, the first shop ever dedicated to roller derby, and has since grown into this 2,000 square foot mecca in San Diego, where we stock everything for our sport. Need help? With a combined on-track experience of over 24 years and still playing, we test everything we sell, and we're happy to share that experience and knowledge with you. So contact us, sincityskates.com.
That's Bridgetown Menace looking to get out there early and close up the score. Jonathan R. out of the pack looking to stop Shreddy Mercury from putting any points on the board. He's chasing him down. Shreddy with some direction to the pack. He's only got one blocker to pass. He does it. Gonna put all 4 on the board and manages to hold the shock exchange to no points picked up.
So again, if you want to get a message to us, talk to us at Talk2MRDA on Twitter. That's hashtag Talk2MRDA. Any questions or comments or shout outs from around the world, we love to hear those. And you are communicating with us and get to hear your shout out for your people, so do it.
That's it. Carnage Asada on the jam line for the shock exchange up against Elysium for Bridgetown Menace. Both jammers in the pack. Elysium clearing on the inside line there. Going to take lead jammer for Bridgetown Menace. Bridgetown coming out strong in the second half with 2 lead jams so far. Elysium in, looking to fake out Banana there at the front of the pack, and number 42, I believe that's, or no, it was 47, Abe Drinkin.
He's not easy to get by either. Another one of those big veterans.
That's it. So Elysium getting stuck behind them, going to pick up 3 points and call off the jam as he sees the jammer for the shock exchange approaching the back of the pack there.
None of the skaters for New York that I really like to watch is Banana on skates. It's not that pretty all the time. You know, sometimes it's a little sloppy, but he manages to stay on his skates. And I like it when his blockers grab him and shove him into people. It just looks like a train wreck happening. Beautiful.
Well, this time we're going to have number 241, Ladies Night, up on the jam line for the shock exchange. Going to be up against Devastator, number 69, for the Menace, who takes the outside. Bridgetown Menace again with the lead jammer.
Yeah, and he's been having a little trouble staying in bounds when he gets hit, but right there taking a big hit, staying in bounds, and on the outside line. Good job now looking for points.
That's it. He's into the pack looking to score. Ladies Night out of the pack on his initial pass, looking to put some points on the board now. It looks like Devastator, aware of that, trying to get those last couple points, does manage to put 3 on the board and call off the jam and keep Ladies Night from putting any points on the board. So Bridgetown Menace coming in, getting these lead jams, and slowly closing up that score gap.
I tell you what, the competition's getting ferocious out there. We're starting to see some talking going on the track, some chest facing off, you know. Again, the testosterone is flowing on the track here at the MRDA Champs.
That's it, and it's a matchup we've seen a number of times already in this game. Shreddy Mercury versus Jonathan R. We're off Shreddy Mercury, looking to take that clear hole that was right there, but takes a fall instead. He still manages to get right back up and take lead jammer for Bridgetown Menace. Meanwhile, stuck in the pack, taking some big hits. Jonathan R. looking to get around Earl Slick at the front of the pack there, taking some hits. Those hits were from Bruce Payne.
Great defense, excellent holding, excellent, waterfalling hits on Jonathan R.
That's a beautiful jump there by Shreddy as a skater from the Shock Exchange fell right in front of me. He jumped over him, went right through the pack. Another 5 points on the board for the Menace. Jonathan R. really stuck in that pack, finally clearing it, now eligible to score. Shreddy back into the pack, looking to put another bunch of points on the board for the Menace before calling it off, and there it is, another 4 points on the board for Bridgetown Menace.
And what a great pack out there for the Bridgetown Menace. New York is at 90, Bridgetown 81 points. So again, moving back up, approaching. And on that last pack, with Bruce Payne, Earl Slick, Demolition Man, and Cosmo Damage, that team apparently has it down. That's a great defensive wall.
That's it. I think they went into their halftime conference and said, "Hey, you know what? Let's pull this wall together." We're going to have Carnage Asada versus Cougar Bait out there on the jam line. Quickly off, Cougar Bait looking to take the front line. Malcolm Sex takes him to the outfield. Carnage Asada on the inside makes his way through, takes the lead jammer position for the Shock Exchange. It's the first Shock Exchange lead jammer. It's also going to be the first power jam as Cougar Bait picking up a cutting the track penalty. Carnage Asada being forced to the infield, recycled all the way back, and got to work his way back through that pack. And there it is. Carnage makes his way through. Going to put all 5 on the board. Shock Exchange looking to increase their lead once again after Bridgetown Menace able to bring it down to just the 9-point game. Once again, Carnage Asada in the pack, and Bridgetown Menace just stretching out that pack. All the blockers together, and as they get driven forward even further and further, they just drop off one at a time, bridging out that pack. Carnage Asada in, taking a hit to the infield. That was number 216 Juke Blocks Hero, taking him to the infield. And this time that was Herman Munster, but he finally makes his way through. Does put up 5 points, but that blocking was enough to make it so that Cougar Bait could rejoin us on the track.
Ooh. And running into the back of the other jammer, he falls down, but no penalty there, and whew.
And it looks like Carne Asada taking a hit to the infield from number 357 Demolition Man, but Demolition Man going to be sent off for a high block call.
Man, oh man, it is turning into a dog fight here on the track between these two teams.
That's it. Jam comes to an end. No more points scored during that last pass.
Well, I've got a message here from Mindy Fenty. Shout out to the Barron City Rollers who are watching and had 5 skaters picked for Team Scotland for the Men's World Cup. So congratulations to the Barron City Rollers in Scotland.
Yes, congratulations. That is actually really awesome news. I'm gonna tell you, we're looking out here as we get ready to go into a timeout. It looks like an official timeout is being called. You'll see that there was a short pack lining up out there for Bridgetown. Bridgetown coming back in and giving up a few more penalties here. They've got currently 3 blockers in the penalty box, 1 standing, 2 in the seats. That's the notorious RED penalty box. Skate clean, or skate, smell clean even if you skate dirty.
Absolutely, right? And a big thanks to them for sponsoring the penalty box there, the notorious RED penalty box. So, another shout out. Okay, this one, and they're coming in from all over the world, folks. This sport is exploding all over the world, and this is from Team Netherlands Men's Derby, and they are enjoying the stream, already thinking about England, Sweden, and Argentina. They're their first round opponents in the Men's World Cup. So, big shout out to Team Netherlands. Thank you guys for streaming this live.
Still in that official timeout. As soon as we get more word on what the official timeout's about, I'll let you know. Elysium ready to go there. That was actually the game on whistle, not the jam whistle. Everybody was like, wait, don't hit anybody.
Nobody's perfect, you know.
That's I see that all the time. You take a timeout. Now that it's one whistle and the jam starts, everybody goes on that first whistle. Elysium jamming for Bridgetown Menace up against Ladies Night for Shock Exchange. Ladies Night quickly clears that pack. A little more difficult for Elysium since Shock Exchange still has all 4 blockers out there on the track.
That's a tough position to be in. He does have Earl Slick out there with him, so Earl Slick encourages him to play some defense with him. Earl Slick just ganging up, a one-man team here, ganging up on Ladies Night.
That's it. Ladies Night, though, able to clear that pack, puts 5 points on the board. Bridgetown picking up 2 more blockers now in the pack. Or no, I'm sorry, one more. Oh, there, yeah, two more blockers in the pack. I thought I saw them. They just disappeared there for a second. Ladies Night now getting a little more resistance in the pack. And that's going to be Munster up at the front of the pack there, last line of defense. Another 5 points goes on the board for the Shock Exchange. Shock Exchange continuing to increase that lead that they've attained. Elysium through the pack and now eligible to score. That was his initial pass as Ladies Night back at the back of the pack, looking to put even more points on the board for the Shock Exchange.
Well, and this movement in the scoreboard by New York is largely responsible from the penalties for Bridgetown. They stacked up that box, and then New York jumped ahead. So we're seeing that back and forth. Whoever's sitting in the box, the other team is more likely to be scoring.
That is true, and with 21:50 on the board, both teams need to be conscious of their penalties. We've got at least 2 on the Shock Exchange that are already up to 4, and 1 with 4 and 3 with 3 penalties on the Bridgetown Menace.
Yeah, and we've also got 1 with 4 on the Bridgetown Menace, Herman Munster.
And we're off again as Devastator is on the jam line and facing off against Jonathan R. Devastator looking to just push right through the wall, changes his mind, goes toward the outside, and is going to clear the pack, just driving right through there. Lead jammer going to Bridgetown Menace. Jonathan R., meanwhile, stuck at the front of the pack there, taking some big hits, kind of comes gliding out of the pack there, and now eligible to score.
And Devastator looking a little stronger in the second half. You got to think he's regrouped and come back in here, staying in bounds, staying out of trouble. He gets into the pack, passes a couple of blockers, gets 2, calls it off.
That's it. Bridgetown going to continue to do that nickel and dime, get in, get some points, get out. Makes the most sense so they can close up that gap.
Well, they're keeping a cool level head here. They're staying in the game. They know that they can come back. They've seen it time and time again. They've been down by 20 or 30 or so points and been able to climb back up. So this is not new to them, and they're just trying to do it again. Plenty of time left here. We've got about 20 minutes left in the game. New York 124, Bridgetown 83.
Carnage Asada jamming for Shock Exchange. Up against Shreddy Mercury for Bridgetown Menace. Shreddy up at the front of the pack, finally clear, takes lead for Bridgetown Menace. Carnage Asada getting some resistance from, that's number 216, Jukebox Hero, again up there at the front of the pack.
Another lead jammer call for Bridgetown, keeping this momentum swing going, and he hops into the pack, is able to pick up 1 point. Well, you got to chip away at it, you know.
That's it. That's the name of the game. Chip away at that lead, and hopefully get that lead change before the time runs out.
Yeah, hopefully get a big power jam and jump back up there. So
that's it. And with Ladies Night in though, I've seen him come up against these walls, and it's going to be tough for Bridgetown to force a cut on him. Elysium though coming back in, looking to do some jammer on jammer offense right there.
Wow, crashing, bashing, blockers falling down all over the place.
A nice little tangle happening there. Elysium able to clear clear on the outside there, though. Takes lead jammer for Bridgetown Menace. Now going to look to put some points on. Bridgetown blockers doing a good job holding up Ladies Night there, but he is now free. So Elysium going to be looking to put his points on the board and then probably get out of there. And yes, that's what's going to happen. Puts 4 up on the board and going to call off that jam. So Bridgetown going to inch ever closer to that 124 that New York has. And
Earl Slick was sent to the box on a multiplayer block there. So 1 in the box per team, 3-on-3. Don Juan the Devastator versus Jonathan R. And we've seen this matchup a couple of times here. Let's see what happens.
Devastator's technique of just kind of blasting through the walls there has been working the last couple times he's been out there, and the blockers for Bridgetown have been able to really hold up Jonathan R. Let's see if they're able to do it again this time. Devastator taking a hit to the infield. Jonathan R. able to escape through the front of that wall.
Well, and he just pushes and pushes until that opening pops right where he's pushing. So good stuff, but right there, a little tangle up with Jonathan R. No harm, no foul.
Jonathan R. through. That's going to put all 5 on the board for the Shock Exchange. Devastator clearing the pack just as Jonathan R. clears the pack. That was Devastator's initial pass, so Devastator going to look to put some points on the board. Jonathan R. in puts 2 more on the board for the Shock Exchange and holds Bridgetown Menace to 0 points during that pass.
Just awesome. 131 for New York, 88 for Bridgetown. All right, we've got another shout out. This is from Nick, Southern Discomfort's Reaper, and Nanakai backing the Shock Exchange.
I'm gonna let you tackle that.
I think it's Nanakai. I think they're good.
Carnage Asada gonna be jamming for the Shock Exchange up against Shreddy Mercury. Another matchup we've seen a number of times during this game. Both jammers still struggling to get out of that pack there. Carnage Asada going down and getting a little bit of a couple of trips over him there. He's not able to get right back up. And again, another big hit. That was Cosmo Damage delivering that hit there. Clearing the front of the pack, Shreddy Mercury takes lead for Bridgetown Menace. There are some really heavy hits happening right now on Carnage Asada. He looks like he might be getting a little worn down there up against these blockers from the Menace that are just delivering big hits.
They are just pounding on him, and I guess he managed to stay in bounds. No cut track call there. The Portland men's team started backing up and bridging.
So Shreddy Mercury going to go ahead and get out of that jam, puts 4 up on the board for the Bridgetown Menace, and inches that much closer.
I've been watching Shreddy Mercury for years in this sport. This guy is smart. He really knows how to play the game. Very strategic. Takes his time and lets his blockers open up the holes. And if they can't, he can. This guy's a great derby skater.
Alrighty, so Ladies Night and Elysium up on the jam line once again. It looks like we are going to go to a team timeout. Shock Exchange calling a team timeout.
Well, and we've got another shout out from hashtag Talk to MRDA, and this one's from Rolamite. She's making an early prediction that your mom victorious in 2013. He or she, maybe. Rolamite.
Is that the stuff that they make in Australia? Vegemite.
Oh, no. It sounds like an exploding wheel to me. Rolamite,
It kind of does, yeah, like dynamite.
Right,
there you
right.
go.
You put them on the other team's wheels, kind of. Well, that's not fair. That wouldn't happen.
I'm going to stay neutral on it until later on, because normally if I say something, it'll end up, like how you fill out those brackets,
right,
and then they get busted the minute you fill them out. So I'm going to just stay neutral for now and see how things play out as we continue in the tournament. Still lots of gameplay coming up.
Well, definitely. This tournament is definitely up for grabs. We've got great contenders. And again, that next bout coming up will be a good one. That is Magic City versus Mass Maelstrom. Everyone excited.
That's right. Don't forget that's going to be at 3:30 and not at 2:30 as the schedule says, because we are an hour behind due to the fire alarm that happened earlier. I don't think it was a drill because I saw a fireman running around in the building. So.
Right. Had a bunch of fire trucks outside here, so it was some excitement in Sioux City, Iowa.
Not the only excitement as we get back into gameplay here. Elysium jumping off the jam line. Ladies Night getting caught up in that wall of Bridgetown Menace. And we've seen this in the second half, in the first half too, but for sure in the second half, a lot of very strong walls.
Wow,
there.
Look at that action out there. Elysium just grinding past all of the blockers and picking up that lead jam. That was an individual will of effort on his part, and you got to love that kind of effort. But wait a minute.
Elysium looking to do some jammer on jammer there. Gets his skate caught up with Ladies Night and is going to get a low block call for that. So that's going to make this a power jam for the Shock Exchange, not what Bridgetown Menace wanted to happen right now.
So tough to be in that position, be down right now to New York. And have to have your jammer in the box. So up front, New York cranking some more points on this board. That'll be 5 for ladies' night.
That's it. You're going to see the pack stop in turn number 2. I think they're just going to stay there for now, as ladies' night going to continue to put points on the board for the Shock Exchange. He's through again. That's going to be another 5 on the board for the Shock Exchange.
So now starting to get some separation here. $49-point difference.
Looks like that was number 357 Demolition Man, able to take out ladies' night to the outside. He's going to get all the way recycled, but up in the pack itself, number 216 headed off to the penalty box there. That's Juke Block's hero.
Don't want to use blockers, lose blockers in this case right here.
The power jams come to an end. Elysium comes back in and takes a hit to the outside.
Yeah, that was T-Stop Tornado delivering that big blow that knocked him down, so jammer takedown.
Jam comes to an end. It looks like we're going to put 4 more points on the board for the Bridgetown Menace and 3 more during that last pass for the Shock Exchange. That's going to put us at 96-149. New York with a decent lead. Still have 13 minutes and 25 seconds on the period clock.
Plenty of time for Bridgetown here. We've seen the strength of play. They've definitely got it in them with the blockers and the jammers they've sent out here. They've done a great job. New York has done a better job.
That's it. Jonathan R. jamming for New York. Shreddy Mercury for Portland.
Oh, Jonathan R. Boy, holding that inside line. Stays in bounds. Lead jammer.
Shreddy Mercury, though, coming out of the pack right behind him, and look at him go. He's going to try to catch up to Jonathan R. before any points can be given away. Jonathan R. into the pack, signals to call off the jam.
Well, he is able to call that off in time.
That's 4 more on the board for the Shock Exchange and holds Bridgetown to none during that pass.
With 12 and a half minutes remaining, New York 153, Bridgetown 96.
And it's going to be Carnage Asada, number 833F, up on the jam line for the Shock Exchange, up against Don Juan, the Devastator, number 69 for Bridgetown Menace. Carnage Asada quickly finding his way out of the pack there. Meanwhile, in the pack, Devastator taking a big hit and down. That was from number 47 being sent to the penalty box.
Oh, man, but the skater who hit him also went down. He could have just jumped right back in, but sometimes they're confused, and he goes back and cycle. We see that all the time, you know, to try and go back behind everyone, even though they don't need to.
That's it, and that gives Carnage Asada time to catch up to the pack, put 5 more on the board before Devastator can even clear the pack. Devastator now out of the pack, though, and eligible to score, as Carnage Asada coming up on the back side of the pack, and a flip around there as he comes in, manages to pick up 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone to call it till I could see the ref fingers. Puts 3 points on the board for the Shock Exchange and calls it off in time before Devastator can put any points into the board for Bridgetown Menace.
Well, we'd like to give some love to one of our great sponsors, the first, the best, happy to fix the rest, SinCitySkates.com. Gotta love those folks. They do a lot of good stuff for roller derby.
Looks like we've gone into an official timeout. I see one of the officials standing in the penalty box. It may be a number issue. Maybe somebody needs some Notorious RED, and because they're going to make the NSOs faint. Oh, they're making him take off his shirt. I think maybe there's a number issue, or because it looks like they keep pointing at his number, so I'm thinking maybe there's a number issue in the penalty box. We're now playing strip roller derby. Nope.
Well, you know, you got to do what you got to do. So, well, coming up, all right, later on, after the Magic City Mass Maelstrom bout, we will have Game 5, and again, that has been moved back to 5:30. That game will be Deep Valley Belligerents versus the loser of this particular bout right here. So Deep Valley Belligerents versus either New York or Bridgetown. Either way, that's going to be a good one. Earl Slick on the floor. He is dancing and going a little crazy here, so with his shirt off.
Yeah, there was some blood on his shirt. They had to clean it off. They wanted to make sure that he wasn't bleeding, so they had him take off the shirt so they could clean it all up. And he did a little dance for us. So,
all right, no harm, and he already had a foul. So
it was entertaining for the audience.
Well, Earl Slick, he needs to be careful. He's sitting up there with 5 penalties thus far, and we do have 11-11 left. Back to the action.
That's it. Jonathan R. jamming 4. Shock Exchange Elysium jamming 4. Bridgetown Menace makes his way clear of the pack and gains lead jammer status. Jonathan R., though, clear of the pack and looking to chase him down. Earl Slick rejoining us on the pack. Got to be careful not to engage with Jonathan R. until he gets into the engagement zone. He pays attention to where the pack is. Looks to take it out. Jonathan R. makes his way up to the pack, puts 1 point on the board before Elysium calls off the jam.
Wow, continues to be intense. These teams continue to hit each other hard on the track. New York starting to get some separation right now. New York up at 162. Bridgetown 96. They've been hanging in there for a little while below at 96, so they need to get that momentum swing back. You've seen those momentum swings all during the bout, and lately Bridgetown hasn't had one.
That's it. Still not insurmountable yet. Number 85, Shreddy Mercury, back out there, going to hopefully make a change for Bridgetown. But up against number 833F, Carnage Asada, it may be difficult. Carnage Asada able to get out of that pack quick. Not this time, though. Shreddy Mercury going to come out first and take lead jammer. But Carnage Asada finds that hold and makes his way right behind him. Let's see if Shreddy Mercury can put some space between him so he can pick up some points.
Well, and it might be one of those instances where we're just running time off the clock. You know, kind of dangerous here. He does try and dive in there and get some clearage past him, but 0-0. So a little bit of wasted time again there for Bridgetown, a wasted opportunity with the lead jammer position.
You can hear the audience was not happy with that call, but hey, you know what? The refs are down there; they can see what's happening, and
they've got a direct line of sight. I'm over here. It looked like he might have got the points from this angle, but that angle is a better angle. I'm going to tell you for sure.
Looks like we are going to go into a team timeout. I'm going to imagine that this team timeout is gonna be a question. Maybe let's see if somebody goes out or if it's just a break for Bridgetown Menace. I don't see any coaches go into the middle, so it looks like maybe it's just a moment for them to come together and talk about some strategy.
Right, kind of gather themselves and catch their breath here. So, Bridgetown has played their hearts out in this bout, and certainly they want it. The opportunity is still there with 9.5 minutes remaining, but the score is continuing. New York continuing to score points, and Bridgetown isn't. Well, we've seen a lot of penalties on both sides of the coin here. I'm looking over here at the Napster, and it's pretty stacked up for both teams. There's not, with the exception of Earl Slick, it doesn't look like anybody's in serious danger. But, and he still has 2 remaining. But it's not good to have a skater in the box, blocker or jammer at any time. So, we'll see if they can avoid it.
And following the story of this, we're seeing Bridgetown put a number more penalties on the box, and that kind of explains why the score is kind of getting out of hand for them.
Good point. New York with a few more in the first half. Bridgetown with seemingly more here in the second half. We're back to the action on the track.
That's it. Ladies' night is jamming for the Shock Exchange way up there at the front of the pack, finally clearing Earl Slick and taking lead jammer. At the back of the pack, it's Devastator back up on the jam line, looking to blow his way through the pack, and he does.
Wow, a knockdown hit on one of the New York Shock Exchange to get that lead position. But, there we are, ladies' night in scoring position. Looks back, going to go ahead and call it off.
That's the Derby strategy. Get in, get your points. If the other jammer's on your tail, call it off.
Fun we are having here in Sioux City at the MRDA Championships. Thank you for tuning in. WFTDA.tv hosting the stream, and thanks to them, because I think we're getting a lot of coverage across the world. People are tuning in. The stream feed is good. We're getting great feedback from people, and we're back on the track.
And we are Elysium versus Jonathan R. Once again, Jonathan R. at the front there in the 3-wall. Elysium breaking his way through the wall for shock exchange, but they follow. Out of play called. He is able to grab lead jammer for Bridgetown Menace. Shock exchange going to lose a blocker to the notorious RED penalty box for that. As Elysium back into the pack, looking to see how many points he can put on the board. Looking to see where Jonathan R. is. Does manage to pick up 3 points for Bridgetown Menace and call off the jam and hold the shock exchange 2-0.
So we want to give some more shout outs here, and thank you so much to Ringster, Jamline, and sponsoring the amazing MVP trophy. So Ringster, you know, we're watching the Ringster up here. That's how we're giving you the information about the penalties and looking at the players and what's going on, who's on the track. So thank you to Ringster, the Jamline sponsor, and MVP trophies.
And it's Malcolm Sex versus Shreddy Mercury. Malcolm Sex up, jamming for the first time for the shock exchange this game. Shreddy Mercury jumping over the apex, going to get a cutting penalty, but so does Malcolm Sex. So they're both going to go to the penalty box. Malcolm sits down first, so he's going to be released first. Shreddy's going to come back out. Really, all this means is they lost a couple seconds on the jam, but now we're going to finish up the jam and go all the way through.
And that's why we call it the notorious RED penalty box.
Play clean, even if you skate dirty. Both jammers stuck up in those walls. Malcolm Sex at the front there trying to force the wall forward so that out of play gets called, but the Bridgetown Menace blockers are not going to let that happen. They're able to continue waterfalling. Shreddy Mercury making his way through the wall, but going to get another cutting the track penalty. That's going to mean
heartbreaker.
Power jam for the shock exchange.
Wow, and that could be a nail right now with New York at 166, Bridgetown at 99. Just over 6 minutes remaining in the bout, and you've got Shreddy Mercury in the box.
It looks like Bainana headed off to the penalty box. Now shock exchange losing a blocker on the track.
Oh, but a reprieve. Number 77 for the shock exchange. Buster cheating. They busted him cheating, I guess. He's headed to the notorious RED penalty box.
Malcolm Sex with the star pass there. Star pass successful. Buster cheating looking to break through. Gets the cut call after being hit to the outfield, so now we're going to get Shreddy Mercury back on the track, and perhaps this will be a good omen for Bridgetown Menace. They have an opportunity now to, take this little bit that's left in this jam and into the next jam, a power jam, and change up the score a little bit.
There is that opportunity still.
Shreddy Mercury through on that was his initial pass. Now it's time to put some points on the board. Jam's going to come to an end.
We'd also like to thank Pro Design Pads, sponsor of the announcer table. Thank you so much to Pro Design Pads. I know a lot of skaters that use them, and they love them, Pro Design Pads.
It's nice because you measure yourself, you send the measurements, and then you get them custom fit.
Ooh, good stuff. I love that. So they don't just come in 3 sizes? Custom fit pads. Back to the action on the track.
That's it. Devastator jamming and through quickly. Shock exchange down to 2 blockers. Made it a little easier for Devastator, especially with Devastator's let's just bust right through the wall jamming style. Devastator back in to the pack, looking to put the points on the board, but gets taken to the outside by Abe Drinkin and recycled.
That is such a momentum killer, too. You got that speed, picking up points, and then bam, you're out of bounds, cycling back.
Devastator through, puts all 4 on the board, and notices that the jammer for the shock exchange came back on. Going to go ahead and call off the jam before Buster Cheaton can even hit the pack and get it reset. Just about 4 minutes left. Bridgetown now breaking the 100-point mark, so still not unmanageable for them with 103-166 showing on the scoreboard.
And another one of our wonderful sponsors, a skate noose. And you gotta love that skate noose. You see a lot of skaters walking around with their skates strung over their shoulders with the skate noose. You know, it holds them really well, keeps them out of the way. So skate noose, big shout out to you, and thank you for being a sponsor of the MRDA Championships here live on WFTD TV.
Looks like we are going to go to a team timeout. If you don't know already, I'll tell you again, that little flashing thing underneath New York, that trapezoid, that means they're taking their second of 3 timeouts. That's how you can keep track of what's going on if we're not telling you. Or if you've got us on mute, because I know sometimes listening to us talk.
That is so slick. Not quite as slick as Earl Slick when he's with his shirt off, but, it's pretty cool. Action about ready to resume here. And we are New York 166, Bridgetown 103, 3.5 minutes remaining. It may be getting a little bit, too far to leap here for Bridgetown. That's a pretty big lead by New York, so we'd have to have some amazing action, and here we are on the track.
That's it. It looks like we've got Elysium versus Carnage Asada. Elysium clearing the pack first, taking lead jammer. Carnage Asada being taken to the outfield and recycled.
That's exactly what they want to do right here.
Bridgetown would like to get Carnage Asada to cut the track. So
they're working on it.
They are definitely working on a real good awareness of when they take him out and recycle him back.
And there goes Elysium through.
That's it. 5 points on the board for Bridgetown Menace. They're slowly looking to close up. They got Carnage Asada clearing the pack. That means we can get some more points on the board for Elysium. Let's see if he can put some more on the board and stop Shock Exchange from putting anything on, and he does. 3 points being put on the board for Bridgetown Menace during that last pass before the jam comes to an end.
And they're looking good late here, maybe a little bit late, but they have certainly played a tough game, and they are going to be a tough opponent for the next team, win or lose here.
That's it. Ladies' night up on the jam line for the Shock Exchange, going to face off against Shreddy Mercury for Bridgetown Menace. 3-on-3 in the pack. Shreddy Mercury went to take the inside line, changed his mind, goes toward the outside, but the Shock Exchange blockers saw him doing it. But he's able to take him out, just slams right into him, and takes the lead jammer status. Once again, you got to remember, if you turn around, your chest is a legal blocking zone.
And Shreddy Mercury will always take advantage of that. He just loves it. Turn around, he's going to slam you. Playing tough throughout the whole bout. He gets knocked out right now. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the bout. New York with a substantial lead.
Timeout being called by Bridgetown Menace. I see the coach going out to the middle there. Don't know if it's going to become a challenge or if it's just a timeout. It looks like it was just a timeout because she's going back to the bench there. I think Bridgetown just looking to stop the clock as much as they can to keep having that opportunity to continue to close that score gap. They're definitely making some good movement here in these last few jams.
Absolutely, and you're going to want to make sure to tune in to our next bout. That is going to be a good one. Again, it is Magic City versus Mass Maelstrom, and Mass is looking incredible right now. They just had a victory against the New York Shock Exchange recently, kind of surprising people. They are one of the, not quite sleepers because we've been watching them, but really they could come in here and do some damage. They are peaking right now. That's what you want to be doing as you're coming into the MRDA champ. So good stuff. And of course, Magic City, a very talented team, got some of the top skaters, some people's account in the world on the team. So they're a very, very tough team, and it might depend on how they play.
And don't forget, that's going to be at 3:30 Central. So add or subtract based on where you're at. And everything is going to be an hour later than the schedule says because of the earlier fire alarm. Devastator out there on the jam line for Bridgetown, able to quickly take that inside line and get through, grabs lead jammer, and now going to look to close that score gap even more. Bridgetown blockers trying to hold up the Shock Exchange jammer, but Jonathan R. not going to have it, makes his way through, and is going to look to stop this jam from happening. Devastator sees him coming to the pack, and does manage to call off the jam before any points are awarded to the Shock Exchange. 2 points go on the board for Bridgetown Menace. And I think I heard a whistle blow for a timeout. Timeout being called by Bridgetown Menace. I assume that was what was going to be happening there because they're going to want to stop that clock as many times as they can so they can continue to close that score gap.
The game may be out of reach, but boy, Bridgetown putting up a fight, and they want every point they can. They want that scoreboard as close as it possibly can be, and these teams, this has been a tough bout. We've seen some intense struggles between individuals out there. We've seen some high emotions on the track, some huge, devastating hits, and this is what roller derby is all about.
That's it. Looks like both teams going to field jammers we've seen a lot of during this bout. Carnage Asada up on the jam line for the Shock Exchange. Shreddy Mercury up on the jam line for the Bridgetown Menace.
Both have had a good bout, and here they are again, where could be the last jam, depending on circumstances, but
Carnage Asada coming out into that three-wall of Bridgetown blockers who've been really successful at holding up the Shock Exchange jammers. And a beautiful hit by Earl Slick to the infield there. Earl Slick, though, getting a penalty, so Carnage Asada able to come back onto the track. Coming out of the pack first was Shreddy Mercury, so lead jammer goes to Bridgetown, but literally right behind him is Carnage Asada. That jam's going to come to an end. Still enough time on the clock for another jam to go, so nobody's going to call anything timeout or review-wise. We're going to get at least this one last jam, possibly a couple, depending on how things play out in the next after the next whistle blow.
Oh, another cool shout-out from hashtag #TalkToMRDA. The Skateful Dead. Loving this bout. They're from Halifax, UK. So,
Jonathan R. jamming for Shock Exchange. Clears that pack quickly, so I have a feeling he's going to let that time tick down, and then we're going to get out of this bout. That was what Shock Exchange wanted to happen. They've got the lead. All they got to do is run out that clock at this point in time. Elysium going and getting a penalty there at the last two. That's going to mean Shock Exchange with a power jam as we continue to see that period clock tick down to 0. And yes, indeed, Jonathan R. got a signal to call off that jam. So our unofficial final, 171-115, New York Shock Exchange looking like they're going to come out the winner. We'll let you know when we have the official.
So yeah, Bridgetown playing a tough game. New York with all the experience, many years of experience in tournament play, championships under their belt. You knew they weren't going to go down easy.
Absolutely, and what we saw too in the first half, New York comes in, they were giving up more penalties than Bridgetown, and Bridgetown playing a nice clean game, able to keep that score nice and close. But then we came back from the half, and New York comes in, still giving up some penalties, but less penalties than they did in the first half. And Bridgetown, though, picking up a number of more penalties. And that hurt him in the end, as you can see from the way the final score.
Right, and we will see Bridgetown again today. Bridgetown will be on the 5:30 game it is now, so just there, Central Time, and they'll be up against Deep Valley. And we saw Deep Valley lose to your mom earlier today. They are the 8th seed, so, should be a pretty good bout. Bridgetown versus Deep Valley coming up at 5:30. And then New York, they move on, right? And New York is going to play tomorrow against, who is it? Well, New York will move on and play someone tomorrow. It'll be wonderful.
I left my bracket in my bag somewhere, and I don't know where it's gone. So,
all right. Well, excellent action here. Wonderful calling with you again. So. Good stuff.
Absolutely. And thank you guys at home for putting up with us. I'm Bangers and Smash. This is Raucous Ron, and you're watching WFTDA.tv. Be sure to stick around all weekend with lots and lots of 2013 MRDA Championship action.
This is the Texas Roll 'em. That goes to you.
We're here in the helmet laboratories today testing some helmets. We're testing soft foam helmets versus hard foam helmets. We have the Lifer hard foam CPSC certified on the head form now. We're going to drop it from the drop tower and we're going to measure the G-force of the impact. We're going to take this helmet up 2 meters for its drop. In order to pass this test, this helmet must reduce the energy pulse to under 300 Gs. We hit 186.75 Gs. That's a pass. We've got a soft foam helmet on the head form now. We're going to bring it up to the same distance we did the hard foam helmet and see what happens. As you can see, the soft foam helmet that was dropped from the same distance as the hard foam helmet registered an 827 peak G. The hard foam helmet registered a 186. 300 Gs passes the CPSC certified test. This helmet fails.